my name is Hermann Tse. I'm the owner-operator of the Dancing Avocado Kitchen in downtown Daytona Beach, Florida. My restaurant is a casual dining establishment based on the travels my wife and I do around the world. We strive to build a menu that has a 50-50 mix based on your traditional dishes and vegan and plant-based alternatives. Now, a little bit about my background. I've been in the tech industry for 30 years. A few years ago, I decided to leave the tech world and buy a restaurant. And 3 years later, we're still chomping along. And my passion for food has not stopped. It all started many years ago, back before I went to college. I wanted to go to culinary school, but I couldn't. I became a software engineer instead. Now, 30 plus years later, I get to relive and actually live out my dream. I get to share my food with my patrons. I get to travel around the world and try new things, and then try them out at the Dancing Avocado Kitchen. And for you today, we have two dishes, done two ways. The first is a Philly cheesesteak done in a flatbread wrap. And then the alternative to that is a plant-based version using a vegan queso instead and plant-based meats. The second dish is a Hawaiian dish called the Loco Moco. It is a bed of jasmine rice, traditionally with a hamburger patty, brown gravy, sauteed mushroom, topped with a fried egg. And then we'll do an alternative version to that, which is going to be plant-based using plant-based proteins. And then we'll be making a vegan gravy and then topping that off with an avocado. And now we're going to start with our first dish, which is the Philly cheesesteak, two ways. All right, let's start with our first dish, which is our Philly cheese wrap that we serve at the Dancing Avocado. It consists of thinly sliced sirloin beef, red onions, green peppers, mushrooms, jalapenos, our dancer dust, avocados, and two types of cheese, wrapped inside a piadina flatbread wrap. All right, so let's start cooking the meat. What I'm going to do first, I have a pan that's heated up. I'm going to add some good oil in there. Before I put the meat in, I'm going to start off with the vegetables. So we're going to get them nice and softened up. I'm going to start with a little bit of red onion. Green peppers. Mushrooms. And jalapenos. Let me get these guys nice and softened up before I put the beef in. We don't want to overcook the beef. We want to cook it just enough where you get nice tenderness to it. So while we're cooking this up, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm the owner-operator of the Dancing Avocado Kitchen in downtown Daytona Beach, Florida. We are a casual dining establishment. We're open for breakfast and lunch. And we are simply doing just good stuff. We cater our menu to kind of the travels that my wife and I do. We do travel quite a bit, and we bring back recipes that we find around the world. Right now, we're not doing that much travel, but we will be starting that again probably in the next month or two. Now I'm going to add the beef in. I'm going to add about 5 ounces. This is a very thinly sliced sirloin. It'll cook extremely quickly. And the key is we don't want to overcook it. I'm going to add a little bit of steak seasoning to it. Add a little bit more oil. I'm going to do this whole dish inside this pan. So when we're done, we just simply put this inside the wrap. Once the meat's almost cooked, then we'll add the cheese. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. Now that the pig is almost all gone, we're going to be ready to start to add the cheese. Like I said, the key here is you don't want to overcook the beef. So the reason this is one of our favorite dishes is because we have a lot of northerners down in Florida, coming from the Northeast, and you'd be remiss by the stuff that they miss from up north. So that's why we try to give a lot of dishes that cater to those customers. And Florida is really just a melting pot of, to be honest, northerners. So now I'm going to add a little bit more cheese to it. I'm going to try to keep down just a little bit. And I'm going to put a lid on it, just to melt the cheese. And once this is done, we'll be ready to put it inside the wrap. All right, now the cheese is melted, the steak is cooked. I'm going to start putting it inside the wrap right here. Before I wrap this up, I'm going to take it to the next level. I'm going to add a little avocado to it. All right. Now I'm going to add a little bit of our dancer dust to finish it off. And there you have it. All right, first thing I'm going to do is make the vegan queso. The vegan queso is made with raw cashews, nutritional yeast, roasted jalapenos, a little bit of hot sauce, and some sea salt, some garlic, some cumin, and some chili powder. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dump 1.5 cups of raw cashews into the blender. I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of nutritional yeast. I'm going to rough chop a roasted jalapeno. I'm going to leave the seeds on there because I like it a little bit spicy. And then I'm going to add the spices in here. This is a very simple dish to make. Add a little bit of water. Oh, sorry. I'm going to add a little bit of water first to start the blending process. I'm going to pulse it. Let's see here. I'm going to add a little bit more water. That's why I'm kind of working it a little bit because I don't want it too runny. I want to keep a good consistency. All right, now it's getting a little bit smoother. I'm gonna add a little bit more water. You can see the little yellowish color. It'll come out almost looking like real queso. As you can see now, it's getting a nice blend. I'm going to give it a little taste to make sure it's seasoned correctly. Perfect. Now this queso is ready. You can use this for chips. You can use this for almost anything. We do nachos with this, and it's fantastic. 100% vegan. All right, I forgot one thing. The most important thing: the dancing avocado garlic carbonara hot sauce. This will give that extra kick on this queso. Just a few dabs will do. You can buy this at a restaurant or online at danceavocadokitchen.com. Now I'm going to give it one more blend, and then we're going to put it inside this measuring cup. Alrighty, it's ready. Now I'm going to start and cook this vegan version of the steak fillet we just made before. Instead of using this steak, I'm going to be using the plant-based protein right here. Instead of using cheese, we'll be using this vegan cheese that I just made, and everything else will be the same. But the end result will be almost identical to the beef version. Alright, now we're going to make the vegan version. I'm going to add, just like before, I'm going to add some extra virgin olive oil. And just like before, I'm going to start with the vegetables. I'm going to start with some red onion, green peppers, mushrooms, and jalapenos. I'm going to let this cook down just a little bit before I add the plant-based meat over here. Now, as you can see, this plant-based meat looks almost like the real thing, and it also cooks like the real thing. So it'll get a crust like a regular beef burger or beef patty, and it also cooks to doneness. So you can get a medium rare look on this, just like you would a regular beef. And then if you cook all the way, you get to a well done color. So you can cook this many different ways. It's already, I mean, it's not real meat, so it's plant-based. So it's technically, all you're doing is browning it. So this is almost ready for us to add. I'm going to add a little bit more oil. I'm going to add this patty in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it out right away to give you that almost like a shredded beef consistency. I also want to add a crust to it, so I'm not going to mess around with it too much once it's on there. And just like before, I'm going to season it with some steak seasoning to give that same type of flavor. So I'm going to press it down a little bit. I'm going to get small pieces, so you're going to get chunks. So I'm going to flip one of these over to show you. So you get a little bit of browning over here. And this doesn't take very long to cook. Always cook it through to about 145, 165, depending on what temperature you like. This is a very popular dish for us, and when we first rolled out the steak Philly, since our restaurant is what I call a 50-50 ratio restaurant, meaning we do 50% animal-based protein and we do 50% plant-based protein. We also always try to make a dish that has both versions. And this caters to customers that come in and get to, where they have vegan friends. Normally a vegan friend will go out and all they can get is a salad at a restaurant. We try to give every customer the same item, whether you're vegan, vegetarian, or a regular carnivore. And with all these new plant-based meats available today, and they're so good where the quality and the texture is almost identical to the real thing, a lot of customers are actually just trying different plant-based options, and then a lot of them end up liking it better. So this is basically ready, and we're going to get ready to plate. All right, here we go. We're getting ready to plate. Now the only difference is I'm not melting the cheese. This is technically not cheese. This just tastes like and looks like cheese. So I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to add a little bit of queso to it. The vegan queso right here. Just like before, I'm going to add avocado. Score a little Good. Just like before, I'm gonna add a little bit of our dancer dust, which consists of about 20 different types of spices that I believe only I have the recipe to. And then I'm gonna kick it to another level. I'm gonna add this vegan chipotle aioli to give it a little bit extra flavor. And then wrap it up. Nice cut. And here you go. All right, now we're gonna make the Loco Moco. You might ask what the Loco Moco is. Well, Loco Moco is a Hawaiian dish that's been around ever since I've been going to Hawaii. It's a local dish where the surfers like it. It's a hearty dish. It is a bed of rice with a burger patty. Generally, it's a hamburger patty, brown gravy, some sauteed mushrooms, and then a fried egg on top. What we're going to do today, we're going to make the traditional version, and we're going to do our spin on it, making it completely vegan. In order to do that, we're going to substitute the beef patty with a plant-based patty. And then instead of using your traditional beef gravy, we're going to be making a vegan gravy that will taste like a real beef gravy. And instead of the egg, if you're truly a vegan and you don't want to eat eggs, we're going to replace the egg with the avocado to give you that creaminess of a soft, of an easy egg. So first thing I'm going to do right now is start to make the vegan gravy. And here we go. All right, so now we're going to make the vegan gravy. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up this pan right here. I'm going to add a little bit of oil. And I'm going to be sweating some onions first. While that's sweating, I'm going to make a slurry, which is going to be based on flour, about 4 tablespoons of flour here. Then I have a cup of unsweetened coconut cream. So this will give you that thickness in the gravy itself. You want to get all the lumps out of this. You don't want a lumpy gravy. All right, I think I got that pretty smooth. I'm going to check on this guy right here. The onions are sweating. While the onions sweat it down, I'm going to add a little bit of garlic in there. I don't want to add it too early because I don't want the garlic to... And I'm going to sweat the garlic a little bit more. Get it going. You can smell the garlic right now. And once you know, go for another 10 seconds or so, I'm going to add this slurry in there. And then I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of dark soy sauce. The key here is dark because you want that nice brown color in the gravy. I'm going to add in some vegetable stock, thin it out a little bit. You want to get this thing up to a boil. You want to keep whisking so you get all the lumps out. And then you want to turn the heat up a little bit to get up to a boil. Now I want to add a little bit more dark soy sauce because I want a little darker color. You can adjust this as you like. Now we're going to cook the burgers. Notice I'm cooking in 2 separate pans. You don't want to cook vegan and non-vegan food together. And I'll be using 2 separate utensils for them too. So I'm going to add, I have a cast iron pan here that I'm going to be using for my beef burger, and then my regular non-stick skillet here for the plant-based burger. These guys are heated up. First I'm going to add the beef patty in there. I'm going to press it down a little bit. This is an 8-ounce steak burger patty. And then I'm going to add the other one in here. And then what I'm going to do too is I'm going to season these burgers just like I do at the restaurant. We generally season them with a little bit of soy. And then we will add some dancer dust to season them. So I'm cooking both burgers exactly the same way. And then we just got to get ready to flip. And I think these burgers will be ready to be flipped. I'm going to flip this one first. This one's a little bit thinner. See, you've got the nice crust on there. Flip this side. This guy too. All right, now we've got to let these guys finish cooking, and then we'll be ready to plate. Alrighty, the burgers are fried up. We're ready to plate. So I'm going to plate these two ways. As you can see, I made some jasmine rice here. They're already made and plated on these plates. I'm going to put the plant-based patty on top of here. I'm basically plating a traditional Loco Moco. The beef patty over here. I'm going to put a little bit of mushrooms on top. Grab my gravy over here. A little bit of gravy on top, right there. Do the same thing in this version. Now, I am going to put the fried egg over here. The beef version. I'm going to put the avocado on the plant-based version. Whoops. Finish off with a Hawaiian volcanic salt on top of the egg. Dancer dust on top of the avocado. And then one final touch, some green onions around. And there you have it, Loco Moco 2 ways. Well, thanks for joining us on this episode of Cooking in the Kitchen. I'm Chef Hermann Tse. I'm happy you guys could join us. If you like what you saw, you can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, at Dancing Avocado Kitchen. You can also join us if you're in town in Daytona Beach. We're on downtown Daytona Beach, right on the river. And then also, if you like our hot sauces and some of the spices that I used today, you can order it online at dancingavocadokitchen.com. And I hope to see you again next time.